Happy birthday, Leo. Hopefully you are out there cha-cha-chaing and having a wonderful time. Happy birthday, happy birthday. I wanted to do something different today. It was on my spirit to do this kind of reading for all signs, and it's related to generational cycles. Some of us know them as generational curses, generational problems. And what we're doing today, Leo, is we have a placement out here for childhood. Whatever blocks or lessons were happening in the childhood space for you to overcome, we're going to look at that and see what that was. Then we're looking at teen years, maybe young adulthood, but really the teenhood years. And then now. So again, in those three areas of life, childhood, teen time, young adulthood, whatever resonates for you, you'll know what this time is for you. And now we're looking at what kind of lessons were needing to be learned, what kind of blocks were in the way for you to overcome, to break any kind of generational curses off of your life or any type of generational cycles off of your life. Okay, so welcome, Leo. This message will not resonate with everyone. It's not intended to resonate with everyone. Sometimes when Spirit gives me these different types of readings to do, I'm like, God, I don't understand how to do that, but I know you're going to lead me. So here we are doing this thing. This is for someone. When that happens, and you know too, I'm speaking to some readers out there, some people who have the gift of sight, of hearing, of knowing. You know that when Spirit tells you to do something, you don't know the outcome. You don't really know who or why, but you know that it's a reason for it. So welcome to the space, Leo. We're going to do this today. So the first card that popped out, and then I'm going to get tarot cards to confirm these three different energies, but for the early childhood area of your life, childhood 0 to 5, 0 to 8 years old is what I have in my mind. Divine Feminine came out. And the divine feminine, or sacred feminine, as I've heard people describe that, is all about creativity. It's all about how we come to understand how we create things in the world. We all have it. The sacred feminine, the divine feminine is a part of all of us. Some people like to think of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, or the sacred feminine, sacred masculine, as being kind of like that yin and yang. We need both of these energies to create. The duality of life is really important. Ups and downs, black and white, night, day, things like that. The opposites, they're both really important. So the divine feminine is all about being able to be a creator, to be able to conceptualize an idea, have an idea, and then the divine masculine energy is what helps to bring it out into the world. That's where the light is, so that people can see it and explore it and have it, right? But the divine feminine is incredibly spiritual. It is incredibly intuitive. When you close your eyes and you decide that you want to imagine something for a moment, you're tapped into that divine feminine energy. For example, if you just decided right now, my love cup, who I'm speaking to, Leo, to close your eyes and ask Spirit a question, what begins to activate in your mind and your heart, or in your ability to hear it, that's the divine feminine energy being activated. It's coming out of the spirit realm to you, but you can see it. The world can't see it yet because you haven't created it into the 3D. As it relates to this childhood, though, we're going to get some cards out here. Intuitively, what's coming up is likely something related to a mother wound. Okay, and what I mean by that is maybe some challenges in the family, in the household, related to your relationship with mom. Mom was probably there, but maybe mom was a bit emotionally absent, maybe mentally absent. Sisters were probably around too. Again, I'm looking at that that ancient feminine energy. Probably needed your divine feminine energy around you, outside of your own mind and heart, through sisters, through mom, and for whatever reason that was disrupted or not exactly there, Leo, the way that you needed it to be. So there was a disruption with how you came to understand who you were in your ability to activate divine feminine energy. Now I'm going to get some cards out here to help us learn more about what that lesson was in those early childhood years as related to your being able to understand or learn a lesson and break any type of cycle off of your experience, off of your family. God, angel, spirit guides, why is divine feminine here for Leo in the early childhood years? What was that about? What was it that Leo was supposed to learn? What kind of cycle was being confronted or broken? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Let's see, Leo. Why is divine feminine here? Tell us more. Angel, spirit guides. Yep. Definitely had something to do with mom. You have a Queen of Cups out here. You may have had a mother who was a water sign. Not limited to that. God, angel, spirit guides, tell us a little bit more. Tell us more about the Queen of Pentacles here. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. For Leo, please. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what's coming through? Switch around the energies the way that you need to, the way that it makes sense, but I'm going to give it to you the way that it's showing up in my mind. And I feel too, and the way that the feeling is cascading through my body. So there was a mother, possibly again a water sign or an intuitive mother, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But really this is a Cancer card for me as a reader. But outside of the zodiac, that could just be the energy of the card. This mother energy in your life was intuitive, very loving, or at least tried to be incredibly loving to the best of their ability. An intuitive mom, someone that you can call on, who has insight, who has awareness here. But it feels like there were challenges here related to the money. And maybe in some way, the mom was not able to provide the way that they probably, you felt like they should have been able to. As a matter of fact, it kind of feels like a single parent here for some of you, and they in some way became emotionally dependent on someone else, and probably in some way kind of overbearing because they didn't have maybe their own dreams come to fruition, or they didn't have the money that they needed, but they weren't doing, they weren't able to do a successful job of balancing the emotional side of mothering, to be communal, to be loving and giving, and also to be able to hold down the resources financially. So there, it feels like there's a loss or a lack of not having enough here. Okay. And then when it comes to this not having enough, right? Because I kind of see this as being two mothers here, the same mother, but two different energies. It's like this mom was emotional, you know, she was likely able to provide the emotional support, maybe sometimes a little bit overbearing at times, but the financial challenges were there. You weren't able to see your mom as the person who was the businesswoman, the get up and go, the zippity zap out, you know, doing all of these things. That wasn't quite what it was there. And then there was some challenges with seeing your mother being vindicated, because we have the Six of Wands in reverse. This is being vindicated. This is being successful. This is being in joy and being in love, and being adored by the people that should adore you, but not having that feeling of being recognized for the success, recognized for what they were trying to do. I just keep getting this feeling that this is a single parent or a single mom who was not given all of the respect and credit that they deserved. And for those of you where your parent has transitioned, I feel like this is something that is still hard for you. It's still something that you're working through, because you think about your mother and you're like, this mother should have had more help. They should have had more support, but they weren't able to have that. I also have the Five of Cups here, and it's reversed. This is another Cancer water sign card. It's a Scorpio card, excuse me. And again, it feels like in some way, you know, there was a sense of loss, maybe even heartbrokenness that they were never able to overcome, and that had an impact on you, Leo, as a child. We also have the Four of Pentacles. So I'm sensing that there was a lot of financial lack here, and it was really, really challenging, and it had an impact on your ability to feel like you can move on and move forward. Your family had a hard time doing and experiencing a lot of the family things that we see on television and, you know, in books and things like that, because this mom was not able to have all that they needed to really raise yourself. And if you have siblings, your siblings as well. And that has had an impact on you. Now, for some of you, and I'm going to move to now here in a moment, we're working from childhood. We're going to get to the current moment right now. But as it relates to breaking a generational curse off of your life, Leo, I could be talking to someone who still to this day struggles with giving, struggles with money, sense of feeling secure. Or I'm talking to a Leo who ensures that their children, their loved ones have so much until they're almost over giving and they overexhaust themselves because they want to deeply break the legacy of how they grew up, Leo. So that's what I'm sensing very deeply. But yes, it definitely had an impact on growth, on the rite of passage, on understanding of who you could become in your life, watching your mother go through what they were going through raising you. And I do feel like I'm speaking to someone who has siblings, raising you and the siblings. They weren't given the credit they were due, and they had to hold on really tight. They didn't get to live out their dreams is another thing that's coming up as well for that early childhood year. So that's kind of like the life lesson of the childhood that you were exposed to, that you saw, because that has something to do with who you are now, who you're becoming, and breaking some type of cycle off of your life, okay? So now we're going to go into kind of like the middle adult years, okay? So for the middle adult years, this is teen years, young adult years. I'm thinking really between ages 12, 22, right? And for those of you where you're younger than the age of 22, whatever that middle adulthood is for you, right? It's the middle of your life at this point, wherever you are and whatever age you are. But we have transmute out here as the card that represents the block or the generational cycle that you were leaving or that you were breaking away from. Here's the card here. You know, when it comes to the snake symbol, I still struggle with that because culturally, where I grew up, snakes were never a good omen, right? But I also recognize at the divine level or at a higher frequency level, the snake does an incredible job of reminding us of being able to shed old skin and being able to become a new version of ourselves based off of everything that we've experienced from the past. So that kind of feels like the tone of what's happening here in that middle year era of your life. So teen years, young adult years, transmuting, 44. So getting some structure, getting some foundation. God, angel, spirit guys, tell us a little bit more about why transmute is here for that period. What is this related to? Any type of cycles being broken? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. So this has to do with love. So I'm feeling and sensing that you knew that you wanted to have a different kind of life than your parent, right? It kind of feels like you knew, I'm not going to wait on a significant other. I'm not going to let my emotional state be based off of the actions of another person. So there was like kind of wanting some freedom from that. This is beneath my deck. And then also too, for some of you, you wanted to leave home very early because you wanted to see what else was in the world. Something about watching your mother or your family dynamic go through what they were going through, while you respect and you love, you know, your parent, there was something about that that you wanted to break free from to experience something different. Now, there was love that came into your life in those teen years. You start exploring what love was, and you wanted to, you know, kind of be in a place of being clear, but this popped out in reverse. And so it was hard for you in your young adult love life to actually have an understanding of who you were in the love dynamic, in your loving relationships. That was a bit challenging for you. And as a matter of fact, something related to love, sharing love with other people, a young love, it was stressful. Likely put up with more than you needed to put up with, maybe just genuinely not understanding or not knowing what that was. The Four of Swords is all about taking rest and being in a place of, I'm not going to do anything more. It's kind of like, at this point, I'm going to need an apology from someone who maybe has hurt you, Leo, if this was what was happening for you. But it just felt like kind of like a stressful time. Maybe also not being able to use your voice to say what it was that you needed in love. And that was kind of hard in some interesting ways. God, angel, spirit guides, I want to get some more cards out here about what this is related to the cycle that was being broken. God, angel, spirit guides, why the Seven of Cups out here? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Why is the Seven of Cups here for transmute? New opportunity. We have the Pentacles here. We have more Four of Pentacles here. So this kind of is similar to what you are seeing and experiencing at the home level. We have King of Wands out here, which is a level of, you know, kind of being attractive, being a visionary, but also there's a risk of being arrogant here as well when the King of Wands is out here. And then we also have the Ace of Swords here. So again, it just feels like you are wanting to break through and have something different than what you saw in your childhood life and experience, right? Something about this teenhood era as it relates to love. It kind of feels like for some of you, you kind of saw the path. It kind of feels like you saw how you could be going down the same path of being in a situation that's not healthy, you know, not having all that you want in love, and you decided to kind of break out of that in some interesting way. Because again, the Seven of Cups is in reverse, so it kind of feels like you being bold enough and audacious enough to push through it. Or in those young years, you were not aware about all of the different ways that relationships take their different turns, the ups and downs. And because of that, you did experience maybe some challenging times in love. Because again, this Four of Swords is all about being kind of burnt out, kind of stressed about whatever was happening in your young adult love life. It feels like a free energy, but being confronted with something very real related to love that helped you to get a little bit more clear about maybe even what you were experiencing in your childhood watching your parent or your parents. Now I'm going to look at now. So now in the energy as it relates to generational blocks, you have magic, and that feels like transmute. Leo, for whoever I'm speaking to, this feels like your life and your journey has been a series of you deeply trying to free yourself of any type of generational block or any type of generational curse, and trying to transmute what you have learned into something that can be healing for you, or that can actually give you the life that you truly want and desire. So God, angel, spirit guides, why is magic here for now? What are they working through right now, Leo, in terms of breaking away generational cycles, generational blocks? What is this right now? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guide. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. For magic, please. This is a very spiritual card. What are they working through and breaking right now, Leo? It feels like you don't let anything get in your way as it relates to your goals. You have the Chariot out here. For whoever I'm speaking to right now, you probably have already been confronting some of this stuff from the childhood and how that led you into your own love life and wanting things to be done differently, the teachings, the things that you've had to learn, but you're kind of still pushing that clutter out of your life. You are dedicated to having the life that you truly want. God, angel, spirit guides, tell us more about magic. Why is magic here, God, angel, spirit guides? for this cycle that's being broken away from Leo right now. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Tell us more. Okay. Yeah. For some of you, you are in some form of entertainment, singing, acting, dancing, some type of creative, exciting path that you're on. You also have the Four of Swords here again, and it's in reverse. Whoever I'm speaking to, Leo, in this moment, all of these experiences have led you to a point where you are deliberately being asked to choose the path that you want to be on. There is an exciting new opportunity that awaits you that is in alignment with what's best for you. This is all about intuition. And beneath this card, the Fool card is here again. So it's like you have, as it relates to generational cycles, there's something with you that is meant to be on this earth in birth. That's with all of us. We know that. Yours is related to excitement, to passion. You might be some type of psychic healer yourself. You might have some type of clairvoyant kind of gifting, but you also might have a gift in the arts in some way, because you also have the Two of Wands here. So this is action, this is passion. If it's not a career in any of those different areas, the passion that you have for what it is that you really want is so strong, Leo, until it's showing up in the form of wands in this reading. Spirit is pushing you to trust your intuition and trust yourself. So in your teenhood years, going into love and kind of feeling around about what love means for you, maybe even being hit with some hard lessons about what you want, overcoming that, there's the Four of Swords. It kind of probably knocked you down a little bit, but now you're on the other side of that. The Four of Swords is actually in reverse. So this kind of feels like you have an option to now use your voice, use your passion to go after what you want. So this is good luck, good fortune, and divine timing. When this is upside down, sometimes that can feel like delays, generational curses, still kind of having an impact on us, but this kind of feels like the time is now. I didn't talk a whole lot about what this magic card is, but this magic card represents, for me as a reader, the ability to alchemize your life. You want to be an author, you want to go into acting, you want to go into singing, you want to move to a different country, you want to study abroad, you want to go into nursing, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever this thing is that's burning inside of you, Leo, the magic card comes out as a reminder that you can create that in your life, that you have the ability to request that from spirit, to claim that from spirit, and create it in this reality that we are living in right now. But you have to trust, and you have to raise your frequency enough to also believe that it can happen, again, to trust. So in this moment right now, this is a magical time, because you have this option to break off some curses off of your life, if there were any at all. I think we use that phrase, generational curses, quite a bit, but sometimes it's just us growing up under a level of programming that makes us believe that we have either some limitations next to us, or controlled opportunities near us, right? And it kind of feels like you have this opportunity to break out of that and choose what's really going to be good for you, maybe in the cyberspace, maybe in it just feels like something related to creativity. Maybe you have an online business, maybe you are expanding your online business, or using your online business to interact with other people in other countries, is what I'm feeling. There's movement here, a lot of movement here, right? You might be thinking about moving away, and it kind of just feels like Spirit wants you to, at this point in your life, know that you are free. Whereas maybe in the childhood, the parents that were raising you didn't have that sense of freedom, and maybe there was fear about even going into certain careers, into certain interests, because if we don't have the money to do A, B, C, and D, that's not good. But it kind of feels like there's something about you, Leo, that's a little bit more courageous. You're not really worried too much about money. You just know that this life is about enjoying yourself. There's an excited energy, and it kind of feels like you have that mentality where, like, the money will come, the resources will come, Or if that's not what you have, this kind of feels like where that cycle can be broken off. It's believing that all I need it to do is believe that I can have a great life and begin to move forward in that direction. These are great omens. Now, the final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of advice out of the tarot cards. Guide, angel, spirit guides. You know what? I'm going to do a different deck. I'm going to do my Archangel Michael. Excuse me. Let me grab them. All right. We're going to do the Archangel Michael. Final messages for birthday Leo as they continue to live audaciously, to live bravely. Messages to encourage Leo's spirit, to keep them going along the journey. Thank you, guide, angel, spirit guides. What do you want Leo to know right now? Thank you, guide, angel, spirit guides. Anything else? Got a couple of prayers out here. Okay. All right. The first card out here is get more information. For those of you, Leo, where you're thinking about moving, you're thinking about moving forward in this creative passion, this project that you're wanting to do, there's some exciting opportunity. Take some time, learn more about it, believe that you can have whatever you want, right? But there's going to be a learning curve here with whatever this is, because you also had the Fool beneath the High Priestess. So allow divine guidance guide you, and it's okay to learn more about what this is. So some prayers that Spirit put out here for you. It says, you and your loved ones are safe. The prayer is, dear God and Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over me and my loved ones. Please help me feel secure and at peace, and fill me with faith so that I may focus on my priorities and enjoy a healthy, happy life. Leo, you deserve it. The next card out here, it says, you created the situation and you have the power to change it. The prayer is, thank you for letting me lean on your strength and for reminding me of my personal power. Please guide me to manifest and heal according to divine will, creating peace and blessings for everyone involved. This is a beautiful energy. This is all about magic. You have the power to make your life whatever it is, whatever you want your life to be. The past is just how we learn about a little bit of something and we transmute that energy into whatever we want our lives to be. You are on the right path. This is beautiful, beautiful confirmation. Okay, and it says, Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. Thank you for giving me loud and clear guidance that I easily understand. Thank you for motivating me and filling me with the courage and confidence to make healthful life choices. This is beautiful. That is what I have for you, Leo. I am proud of you, and let me know how this resonates. How it resonated with you, and I hope I get to see you next time. Take care, Leo, and happy birthday. Bye.